Hey, what's up? This is a response to the first two parts of Sean's Transformers review, which he's been reviewing the 25th anniversary Matrix DVD set, which is basically the more elaborate release of this by Shout Factory. As you can see, I have all my Transformer DVDs that I own right in front of me, well, except for the live action films. But this is mostly all my animated Transformer stuff. Now, Sean, I had to hear I heard what you had to say, and, I totally agree. I mean, you could definitely see the difference with the DVDs between the Matrix edition that you and I'm sure a lot of other people have, and this edition that myself and a lot of other people have as well. So I can understand, I can definitely see the difference there. I can also see the difference in extras. I do understand that there are certain extras, either DVD-ROM extras, documentary featurette extras that we don't get that you do. So that's good. That's great. But there is something I wanted to point out, because you talked about this when you were talking about the episodes and the extras and everything, and in part two, you talked about the fact that when you got to certain volumes, and let's move these right here to the side for a second. You talked about when you got to certain volumes with the PSAs, and let's see if I can find exactly what disc those were on. Well, they're not on that. They're not on disc one here. Okay, you got a rare PSA on disc 3, which is the bonus features, the bonus feature disc. So you got a rare PSA there. That's on. That's on season 2, volume 1, disc 1 and 2. Nor disc 3 and 4 of season 2, volume 1. Nor on disc 5 and 6 of season 2, volume 2. Okay, disc 8 here, which is 7 and 9, which is basically, 7 and 8. Disc 8 has the bonus features, and it has the rare PSA public service announcements, if you will. It has it on there. And let's see what else we have here. None on disc 1 and 2 of season 3. On here, disc 4 of season 3 and season 4. We have rare PSAs as well as the commercials. I think the ones with yours on there. So, yeah. And I wanted to talk about those PSAs that you see on those discs that I mentioned. Disc 3 of season 1, which is the bonus features. 8 of season 2, volume 2. And disc 4 of season 3 on season 4, disc 4. I want to talk about those PSAs because I noticed something that kind of caught my eye a little bit. Because this is what really kind of catches my eye a little bit. Now I'm looking here on the Rhino edition. And the Rhino edition, I don't think the first season has it. I don't think it has it or anything. The first season. Second season, I think it may. I'm not sure. I don't see it. Part 2, I don't know. I know Flint Deal and Buzz Dixon are interviewed on here. but I don't think the commercial. I don't think anything's on there. I don't think it's until we get right here to the meat of it, to the season 3, part 1, that we get the PSAs, the Transformer public service announcements, Transformer historical trailers. In other words, commercials. Yeah. That's basically, I think. Now the reason I bring this up, and let me see if I see any more here. Hold on for a second, let me see if I find any bonuses in here. It doesn't say what the bonuses are, I think, except for an interview with David West and David Wise, and that's it. I think that's the only bonus feature we get is the interview with David Wise. So, and I'm pretty sure there's some commercials on there. But like I said, I think some of the commercials, maybe with the exception of yours and a few others, along with some of the PSAs, Sean, I wanted to point this out because in case you don't know, I don't know if you can really see that very well, but it says right here, public service announcements and historical trailers, which I think are the commercials, and I think the same on maybe that part as well. And the reason I mentioned that, Sean, and I'm sure anybody else watching this response video is going to probably understand, is because I think Shout Factory got those from Rhino. Basically, Rhino got the PSAs, and I think they gave them to Shout Factory. I could be wrong, but it looks to me like the same PSAs as before. So I'm just assuming that it's basically the same PSAs that Rhino had, and Shout Factory just cleaned them up a little bit better or something. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just stating what I think could have happened there. And I think the same with some of the historic trailers, commercials. I think that I've talked about on here. I think some of those, with a few exceptions like yours and a few others, got also taken from here and put on here. I'm not saying that's 100% correct, because like you said, there were some people like yourself that gave commercials, that sent commercials that you had taped when the Transformers first came out almost 30 years ago, or 30 years ago, going on 30 years ago, that that Shout Factory used, and we all appreciate that. But like I said, I think there are some of the commercials that they got from here, from this one, and they put on some of these, as well as the PSAs. I think they got from here and they put on here, maybe with a few exceptions. But that's just my general assumption of it. That's just my general assumption. Now, you talk about the movie, if you will, being a bridge between seasons 2 and 3. Well, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Sean, but when you look at the 20th anniversary edition right there, the 20th anniversary edition, there's actually something you should know. The 20th anniversary edition on disc 1, I think you know this, but in case you want to watch it again, has the Japanese dubbed, fan commentated, and I think you mentioned this, but fan commentated Scramble City episode. And basically that Scramble City bridges season 2 into the movie. Bridges the movie and season 2, and essentially allows the movie to bridge into season 3, as well as into what you call the sequel, Five Faces of Darkness, which not many people have said is a direct-on sequel to the movie. I mean, you pointed this out in one of your earlier Transformer videos where you talked about the VHSs. And one of the VHSs you had, which I actually rented one time and then copied to a regular VHS, The Return of Optimus Prime. And on the back of that, it said that The Return of Optimus Prime was a direct sequel to the movie. And there was no mention whatsoever that Five Faces of Darkness was. You know, unless Family Home Entertainment, when they brought out that as its own individual VHS, gave it the title of sequel, but I don't know. But like I said, on here, right here, it says Scramble City episode with commentary, basically fan commentary. So that basically bridges the end of season 2. Basically, this Scramble City is basically the final episode of season 2, and it bridges season 2, and with the movie. It basically connects both together. Basically, leads into the movie. However, we never got to see it because it was never officially released out here in the U.S. or in Canada, in your case. The same with these three. If I can get these in order. I don't know if you can see all 3 of them. Let me see if I move this back a bit. There we go. But yeah, like I said, these 3 here, just like Scramble City, as well as the sequel to Victory, which was the OVA, the original video anime Zone, were never released in the US officially until Shout Factory gave them the proper release. Now Zone is the only one they have not released yet. And if you want to know about it, Zaranyzerak, Sean, check out YouTube. Go Transformers Zone. You'll get a good fan dub. Very well done. It's almost professional-like. Very professional-like, I should say. And you can get a regular Japanese, you can get the regular Japanese dialogue one as well. But like I said, these were never officially brought over to the U.S. after Rebirth. This one, however, was brought up in the western portion of the U.S., mostly Hawaii and several parts of California and stuff, but it was very badly dubbed, as a lot of people have pointed out, very badly dubbed. So that was the only one that came closest, but it was only, like I said, in Hawaii, in some parts of California and other areas of the world where you got a very bad English dubbed version of Headmasters. So everywhere else, it was never officially seen until now. It's never officially brought forth as a continuation of G1 until now. And then, of course, you got Super God, Master Force, and Victory. So, just like Scrambled City, these were never released. These were never given the chance to help continue G1 because of the fact that Headmasters basically doesn't take place after Rebirth. They take place after the Return of Optimus Prime. It's like Headmasters, you could take the Rebirth episodes, pew, throw them out the window, and just start with the first episode of Headmasters, and there you go. And that's their continuation. Headmasters, basically to the Japanese, doesn't exist. It's like out the window. And basically, after Return of Optimus Prime Part 2, you just start with the first episode of this, and, well, there you go. But, yeah, Headmasters, basically, like I'm saying, if you take out, if you take out Rebirth and just start with the first episode of Headmasters, then essentially you're continuing G1 right there. So that's about it. As far as the discs go, yeah, it is a little bit different. And there go the discs, there go the DVDs, and the domino effect. It is a big difference. There's no doubt about that. I mean, like you said, you could definitely see the difference right there. You could definitely see the difference with how they're presented. And that's pretty good. I have no problem with that. I really don't. I mean, I wanted to get the Matrix of Leadership Edition, the Matrix Edition like you have, but couldn't get it. Didn't have the money, so this was the next best thing, if you will. You still get the complete series. And you get a majority of the same bonus features that you get, documentaries that you get, with a few exceptions, as you pointed out, with a few exceptions. So, with a few exceptions, but you still get just about the same thing. They're basically the same stuff, but just one disc left. So, or one disc less, I should say. But it's not bad. It's not too bad whatsoever, and I actually enjoy it. It actually gives me something to watch when I want to, on the road, or have my big, I have my HD here, and lets me watch it like that, and they look. And I can tell you this, Sean, and anybody else, you have a DVD player with HDMI, you connect it to your high-def television, and this comes out spectacular. It looks great. It's just terrific. I think the Hub Network could definitely take a lesson from that. But one thing that did kind of surprise me a little bit when you were reading off the the episodes, and you got to fight or flee, you were a little surprised. You were a little shocked, and From what it says here, when you get to flight, I think it's fight or flee, you have Web World and Ghost in the Machine afterwards. So, and that's the end of disc 2 of season 3. So I was kind of surprised when you mentioned that Hasbro had stepped in and did what they did. Instead of keeping it in chronological continuity order, easy for me to say once, chronological continuity order, they decided to just do it in broadcast. And I can understand that's frustrating for people that want to have episodes continue one after the other. I get that. So, it was a little surprising to know that little tidbit fact there. And I was kind of surprised when you mentioned that essentially on this disc, which is disc 4, you got the archival Hasbro toy commercials, that those are yours. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to just know that on disc 4 here, which is disc 15, those are your commercials. That's pretty cool. But anyway, like I said, I was kind of surprised by that. I was kind of surprised by you saying that you contributed with the commercial part. That's good. But like I said, like I was saying, it's, there are, something, but like I was trying to say, there are some things that I think Shout Factory may have obtained from the Rhino set. That's just my personal opinion. I think they kind of got certain things from the Rhino sets. Like I say, some of the PSAs, maybe some of the commercials. I could be wrong, I'm just assuming. Because like I say, the PSAs do look familiar. And one thing again that I don't think you pointed out, because you should get the sets of these, the Japanese ones, down the line. Oh well, you do have them basically. You do have them thanks to not Dennis, but David Bunchenubbers. You do have them, if you will. But like I said, like I was saying, what you forgot to mention when you were talking about the episodes, and this would have been something good to bring up, and again I'm going to bring it up once again, is that when you take a look at Rebirth, that Rebirth is basically the finale of Transformers. That's it. End of story. But here's the little trivia again. If you were to take Rebirth out and just start with the first episode of Headmasters, which is, let me see what it is. I know it's got it in here somewhere. Which is 5 Warriors from Outer Space. If you were to start with that episode, right after Return of Optimus Prime Part 2, then essentially all this is the official continuation. Again, like I said, to the Japanese continuity, to the Japanese continuation of the show, Rebirth is not part of the continuity. This is. That is at the end of Return of Optimus Prime. This is where you start, right here, with the 5 Warriors from Outer Space. Just a little bit of trivia there for you guys, and for you, Sean. But again, like I said, it's just a little trivia. And so yeah, it's just a little bit of a response video to you, Sean, and kind of point out some things I think are not necessarily just from the fans, but from some things that Rhino had, just to point that out. And also to point out that if you watch Scramble City, that's basically a that's basically bridging the gap between the end of Season 2 and the movie, because it's got Metroplex, it's got Trypticon, it's got Ultra Magnus all in there. And it kind of bridges into the movie, leads right into the movie, and basically is the official finale to Season 2. And, yeah, like you mentioned in an older video that you did on the Transformers, you could say Five Faces of Darkness is basically a direct sequel to Transformers the movie, and that's cool, because it does feel like that. It does feel like it's a direct sequel, because it's basically continuing right off where the movie left off, if you will. But again, to kind of remind people what you said in the original Transformer video you did on the VHS ones of Family Home Entertainment. Yeah, Five Faces of Darkness is considered a direct sequel, continuation of the movie, and bridges the gap between the movie and the season. But also the fact that, again, little trivia, Return of Optimus Prime is considered as a sequel to the movie, as the official sequel to the movie, before anything else. And that comes from when it was released by Family Home Entertainment. And also another thing to let you guys in on, and Sean, I don't know if you've mentioned this, Only Human, the episode where Rodimus, Magnus, Springer, and RC are turned human. That's essentially the only crossover you're really going to get between G.I. Joe and Transformers. Because besides the guy that makes this, besides the guy that, you know, wants this to happen, I can't think of his name right now. Basically, you have Cobra Commander in there, and he shouts Cobra at the end of the episode. Yeah, Old Snake is Cobra Commander and only human. Just thought I'd point that out to you guys as well. And to you, Sean, in case you forgot to mention it. But again, this is just a reply video to your first two parts, Sean, and I appreciate you continuing this. I know you've had a lot on your mind, a lot to do, but as fellow Transformer fans like myself, we're all happy you're doing this. Glad you got to contribute to the set and all that. And that's all I'm gonna say. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you think, Sean. Comment below. Video response if you like. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to put some of these back right now because I need to. Peace out. God bless.